I think every kid should aspire to be that leader. It doesn't mean you have to wear a letter, but I think if you're consistent in your approach, and I define character as how you behave and nobody's watching, and if you're the same kid, sooner or later you're going to get noticed for it. I remember kids at ND that, when the strength coach is in the weight room, they're putting in the work, they're going to work hard, but it's the kids I noticed that would show up before school or after school late, stay late, they're there consistently. And after a while, I'm like, hey, kid, keep putting in the work. You're gonna close some gaps here. You're gonna push through, and you're going to pass some kids by. So there's lots of different areas as a hockey player you need to have be a 10 out of 10 in. And I think the last piece we all talk about, unfortunately, which is probably the most important, is the mental side.
That was former pro and current director of hockey at Coeur d'Alene Hockey Academy, Jeremy Mylymok. And you are listening to the Up My Hockey podcast with Jason Podolin.
Just watch me now.
Welcome to Up My Hockey with Jason Podolin, where we deconstruct the NHL journey, discuss what it takes to make it, and have a few laughs along the way. I'm your host, Jason Podolin, a 31st overall draft pick who played 41 NHL games, but thought he was destined for 1,000. Learn from my story and those of my guests. This is a hockey podcast about reaching your potential. Hey there, everyone. It's Jason Podolin. Welcome back to the show, or welcome to the show if this happens to be your first time listening. We're happy to have you. And today you're in for a good one. We got Jeremy Mylymok on. He's the director of hockey for the Coeur d'Alene Hockey Academy down in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Picturesque tourist town that it is. We are going to be chatting all things hockey, all things development. His journey, his own personal journey, is super cool and really aligns with everything that I do here at Up My Hockey as far as being a part of a process, as far as committing to your own personal development and seeing where it can take you. And Jeremy had a really awesome career through the academy system himself, as far as being a Notre Dame Hound coming out of California, which is one of my favorite parts of the interview when he shares that story of him arriving in Wilcox, Saskatchewan. From California, and then continuing on to Fairbanks, Alaska, where he earned a scholarship, and then becoming a pro, and then his journey becoming full circle, going back to Notre Dame, where he was the hockey director there for 8 years, I believe, and then continued on to Coeur d'Alene Hockey Academy, where ironically he played a lot of time in pro with the Steelhead. So really cool journey. He has boys that are pros themselves, that are playing hockey in the minor league system right now, and went through the NCAA route, and it's an awesome conversation. But before we get into the conversation, just a quick ask again, which I've been doing here in the last few episodes, is to please press download on this episode. We are trying to figure out actually how many people are listening to the program, and if this makes a difference, asking you to download. I know that I'm personally a streamer of downloads, and I've learned that one of the best ways to support the podcast that you listen to is to download it. For some reason, that is the data metric that seems to trump all is the downloads metric. So please press download. Take a second here just to download it. You're welcome to delete it as soon as you download it. But it is a cool thing if you do subscribe to a podcast. Just say download all episodes. They don't take up much room on your phone, and you can get rid of them whenever you want. I will be sharing the results of that here in the next week or so to see if there is an uptick. It seems like it is creeping up a little bit, although not quite as dramatically as I thought. So potentially people aren't listening to my request. It would be great if you did. So please do that, and we'll see if we can find out where the numbers are truly at. So without further ado, well, I guess I should say that this is a special episode for me because Jeremy was somebody that I was doing research about, and I was doing research about the Coeur d'Alene Hockey Academy because I was considering about where to send, particularly Hudson and the rest of my boys next year. We were considering a move and wondering where a cool move would be and where would be a great place to continue their development. And so I was doing some research on Coeur d'Alene. I knew about the town from playing in Spokane, Washington with the Chiefs for years. I'd always been a fan of Coeur d'Alene. Didn't know much about what they were doing down there as far as their facilities and such, and who was the coaches and all that. So I was doing my my work as a hockey dad, and turned out that they ended up they could use someone like me down there, and was ended up being part of the discussion. So myself and my wife and the boys, we're all going to be going down to Coeur d'Alene for the upcoming hockey season, and we're really excited to be a part of that. I'm going to be the U18 prep coach there. I should say co-coach, along with Jeremy. Jeremy is also the director of hockey there, so he will be bouncing around between the teams, but we will co-lead the U18 prep team there in the CSSHL U18 prep division. So I'm really excited about that opportunity, and my boys will be playing on the various teams that they're chosen for. So I'm excited about going down there. I'm excited about sharing what Coeur d'Alene's all about. It really truly is an amazing place to play hockey. Simply can't say anything else other than that. The facilities are fantastic. Everything is right on site. It's got a very campus feel. The town is amazing. The access for the players to the gym and to the ice and all the things that are allowing you to become better is right there at their fingertips. The school system, the academics are so taken care of, and are and they have a great on-site teacher system there. So I couldn't be happier about what they have there. I really do think that it's one of these gems that people just need to find out about. And my goodness, there's going to be a lineup out the door. I'm telling you. So yeah, I mean, if you are somebody actually at this point, if you are considering, hey, what do I do with my U15 or my U17 or my U18 player? We're not sure what to do next year. Where can they get better? Where's a good spot that we know they're going to be safe and well taken care of, with good access to development and coaching and academics? By all means, Coeur d'Alene is a place that you should be calling. Like, again, I will be coaching the U18 prep team. If there's anyone out there that is undecided in that, we do have a couple spots left for the right players. We're holding spots for the right players to give the team the best chance of success. So if that's something you're interested, by all means, check it out. My youngest, TJ, who is stepping into U15, will be playing on their U15 CSSHL team this year. They'll have a AAA team, a varsity team at the CSSHL level, and I know that they're recruiting for that right now. So there's another option there for sure, that if you are interested in playing in the CSSHL from wherever you are, there is going to be a really good opportunity and some awesome players to build around with that program too. So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Jeremy is a heck of a guy. I know you're going to enjoy our conversation. So without further ado, I bring you Jeremy Mylymok. All right. Well, here we are. Welcome to the podcast, Jeremy Mylymok.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here, and excited to talk about what we got going on in Coeur d'Alene.
I love it. You looks like you're in the war room right now down there. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, in the office here. It's busy at times. Just had our tryouts a couple weeks ago, and just finalizing the rosters for next season. So the excitement around here is at a new level, and I think the players and families that were here to visit loved it, and it's great to get more people here from different areas, locations, to spread the word, because I think we have a special thing going on in Coeur d'Alene, and yeah, like I said, I'm already excited for next season, and we're sitting here just got to May, so yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I totally want to get into that. And I was down there for that visit, as obviously you know, with being involved with the U18 team and having my boys come down there myself. And right outside those doors, for anyone who's watching this on YouTube, is like one of the coolest training facilities you will ever see in an academy setting. It looks like it belongs at a university level. But yeah, the head coach there, director of office, and then Freddie's in that room, and the owner, and then right outside is this amazing training facility that really captured my attention when I walked in there. So it's a fun place to be. But we'll definitely get to CDA. I want to talk about that and what we got going on there. But let's talk about you and your background first. It was funny when I looked up your elite prospects. It was cool to see that you ended up coming full circle yourself, like playing at Notre Dame as a player, then coming back there as a director and a head coach. Talk to me about your decision as a player to go to Notre Dame, which is one of the original kind of academy settings in Canada.
Yeah, so it was for me, it was a decision based off of hockey and academics. I was moved to California. We were very young. I was playing hockey there, and I loved to play baseball. I surfed, skateboarded, played field hockey, did everything in the outdoors. My parents always believed in who knows what your passion is, get involved as many things as possible, and then you'll gravitate to one as you get older. And as I got to high school, question was laid out to me: baseball or hockey. I love baseball as well, but my passion was hockey. So my father told me, listen, I got a spot for you. He was from Rockland, Saskatchewan, grew up there, knew about the Notre Dame Hounds program, and explained to me what they had to offer and what they were all about, and made the decision at a young age to go there with my brothers, and went there. Quickly found out where I was as a hockey player and what I had to work on, but it was a life-changing experience for me, as a lot of these academies are, not just for the hockey piece, but for as a kid to grow up a little bit, mature, and learn how to do things on my own with time management skills, and also take more pride in my academics, as I learned their academics dispersed. And it just gave me an opportunity to be around guys like Rod Brindamore, Curtis Joseph, amongst a ton of other players that moved on. And I didn't go there for the reason to get somewhere or get to junior hockey or get to college. I just love the game. I love the atmosphere and I love the experience. And as I got there and learned the game and was coached, got the ice time I needed, and I had a chance to really watch the peers ahead of me and where they were at, how they lived their lives and how they worked out and how they just were humble and took care of their bodies throughout the course of the season. I started to learn from them. And it kind of was organically what happened. I didn't play AAA to grade 12, never made the top team there until my last season. But I still had fun. I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed the game. And then as I got to those higher levels, junior teams started calling, USHL, Western League. Then I got on to junior hockey. Then colleges started calling. And but again, I didn't really seek out those things as a player. Nothing was mapped out for me. I just played the game because I loved it. And because I loved it, I worked hard at it. And things started to happen for me just because of my play on the ice, my performance. And it just kept going. And from college to pro, and then just kind of advanced through my life where I just I think the reason I played so long in the minors, I just love the game. I love what it gave to me as a person, the friendships I made and the experience that I had through hockey. And as we all know, there's a lot of life lessons learned through hockey that helped me become successful outside of the game itself in this role I'm in now. So, yeah, a great experience. I had a chance to go back there. My kids were at a stage. I was in Florida. The Panthers hired me there to work, run their 3-sheet facility, all their youth hockey, travel hockey program, and all those things there. And then as my kids got to high school, the same thing I asked them, do you want to play this game? Do you love it? And it just happened. The opportunity to go back to Notre Dame was in the cards, and we took the opportunity, went back to Saskatchewan with my family and let my kids go through the same process I went through and learn on their own and get coaching and have the facilities there to chase the game. And they got some guidance from me, but overall it was nice to see them kind of flourish on their own and grow that love of the game and the passion for it, and the things that happened for me happened for them too. So great experience. My wife was a house parent there for 9 years, so she took what she learned from that, brought to the academy here because she runs the billet program here in the dorm houses. So she does a fantastic job, and the chance for me to go through a program, have my kids go through, was pretty special and something that I won't forget. And it's been pretty cool process. It's been, as you know, this game goes by quickly. The time we have with our kids to watch them play and travel with them and see them experience the same things that we went through is you can't put a price tag on that. So it's been awesome.
That's cool. Well, so how old were you when you first stepped foot on the grounds of Wilcox, Saskatchewan?
I was ninth grade, so I was 14. I got there with
That's the youngest you could be there, correct? For hockey?
Yeah. So back then it was grade 9. I think it's grade 8 now, but I was going into grade 9. So I got there with my brothers, skateboards in tow, and I'm looking down the gravel road saying, there's nowhere to skateboard in this town. We still get a kick out of some of the staff that's still there talk about the day we showed up there, the blonde-haired kids from California with their skateboards. So got there, I looked at the pamphlet, I looked at my dad, I said, we getting gas or where are we? He goes, no, we're here. I was like, you're kidding me. He goes, no, we're going from Newport Beach, California to the prairies of Saskatchewan. And but I loved it. I mean, it was
hold on. You maybe loved it after, but let's talk about that, because I have that experience too. We went there same age, actually, and I'll tell a story. Actually, Tyler Queering, who is a good buddy of mine, helping me coach right now some of my spring stuff here in Vernon.
Yeah.
Avid listener of the podcast. So him and I were like he was older than me, but every second year we got to play together, and we had really fun chemistry. Tyler was somebody that would come with us on road trips often, like for games, just because of the way his family environment was. He lived with his grandparents, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And my dad really took him under his wing almost as another son. And he was like, Tyler, I think this might be a good fit for you. And I thought that maybe I wanted to go to Notre Dame too at some point. So anyways, I've been there and I've done that thing, and I want to finish the Tyler story, but talk to me about how long that adjustment took, and did you really want to turn around and leave when you first arrived or not?
I mean, it was nerve wracking. You're moving away from home. It kind of hits you when you get dropped off of the dorm and you see your dad's taillights hit the main street, heading back to California, and then you have some a little bit of anxious moments. I met some. They do a great job though. They get you as groups together with your classmates, your dorm mates. They keep you active those first 2 weeks. You're very busy, keeping your mind off being at home, getting to know the staff, the other students. But yeah, I mean, if I was sit here and tell you that I didn't want to go back home, I'd be lying to you. I mean, there's a few phone calls back to my mom saying, "Hey, I don't know if I'm going to last here, if I can stay." And she said, "Well, you made a commitment, stick to it. You're not going anywhere. You talked about it all summer. You're excited to be there. Just give it some time." And obviously, great advice, because after that first month, I called back and said, "Yeah, I'm going to be here for 4 years." So
Isn't that wild? Like I think there's
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, because there's lessons in that right now, and there's all types of young kids listen to this, and parents listen to this, and older junior guys, and we've had that discussion before in different contexts. Whether you're a 16-year-old leaving home for the first time for major junior, or for a junior team, or whether you do leave earlier for an academy environment, like that first time you leave, there is challenge for sure. And when you throw Wilcox, Saskatchewan into the mix after coming from Newport Beach, California, like that's a massive culture shock. But you got through it, and now you're looking back on that saying that's one of the most influential points of my entire life.
For sure. Yeah. And if I had parents that said, "Yeah, come home, it's a tough time," instead of facing adversity and working through it, and I had the green light to go back home, I would have missed out on so many things in my life that have been hugely impactful for me and my family. So my message to families always say, there's going to be an adjustment. I don't sugarcoat it. When parents make the change or the decision to come here, so there's going to be an adjustment. They're going to get homesick. It's normal. It's not going to go through anything that the rest aren't going through. And it doesn't matter if you're grade 9 or even where my kids left for, USHL and North American League in grade 11 and 12 there. It wasn't any easier for us as parents to let them go, but we knew we went through it, and we preach to parents, give it time, be patient with it. But even with your own kids, it's never easy, whether it's grade 9 or going into college. So there's going to be an adjustment for both sides. But I just know that thankfully I got parents that were very supportive and level-headed, that didn't listen to me at that age. And, our parents always know what's best, and they know these things are going to happen. But at the same time, for me to go through that, the adversity, making new friends, going through trial process for the first time at Notre Dame, it was tough. I mean, they posted all the cuts on the varsity doors where you go eat. So it wasn't like it was one-on-one conversations. There's a list put up, and I kept looking down the list at the bottom every day to see where I was going to get cut to, and end up playing the Bantam B team, I think, my first year. But once the team was made, I had 19 new friends, a new coach, and a new experience, and I loved it. And I just learned through my own experience that if you are in a situation where you're not getting what you need, and you do move away from these academies, if you put in the work and stay loyal to a program, I think there's going to be growth. I think the coaches will know exactly what you need to work on. They'll know you inside and out as a person, whether it's your work ethic, whether it's your weight room practice habits. And, I had a situation in grade 10 where my coach was Dennis Ulmer. God bless his soul here. But his kids, one's in San Jose now and one's in North Dakota. But in grade 10, he pulled me aside and said, "Listen, Millsy," he goes, "you got talent. You're a kid that can move on in this game, but your work ethic and practices, your habits are poor." He goes, "You don't give the effort. You're always in the back of the line. You cut real short." He's like, "I'll tell you what." He goes, "I'm not going to get on to the rest of the season." He goes, "But I'm going to say this to you right now, that if you keep doing what you're doing, when you hit grade 12 at Notre Dame, you graduate, your hockey career is done." He goes, "So make up your mind. If you want to play this game, buy in. And if you don't, He goes, remember this graduation when I shake your hand and your career is going to be over. So that'd be pretty hard. I mean, it was the honest truth. I needed it, but I think in these academies and what we do here as well in the private school, our teachers and coaches get to know these kids on a personal level. And some kids have all the pieces on the ice. They're missing things off the ice. And that's where we can dig down. We see these kids every day. Our offices are right here in the field house. So we have a chance to have a positive impact on these kids and mentor these kids. Say, listen, hell of a player, but guess what? You're a dime a dozen the next level. So how do you separate from the rest of the pack? Is it your habits in the weight room? Is your practice habits? Is it your attitude? Are you a good teammate? So we can really help these kids in different areas than just the hockey piece. And that's where I got a lot of value at Notre Dame. Was it wasn't just the hockey. I took more pride in academics. I learned how to study properly. My study habits got better. My grades went up. I prepared myself for university. So when the opportunity came to go to college, I was prepared for it. And when I got to university, school was actually easier than it was in high school because I had more time to get homework done. I understood time management and I understood accountability. That if your grades aren't there, you don't play. So, yeah, we have all those things here. And I think for parents that are making these decisions, find a place that you trust the people there. It's the biggest thing. I think we're the first barriers to entrance is the staff there. And if you don't have a great staff, your kids won't have a great experience. So that's one thing we've done here is we've really got a fantastic staff here. You've met them. I love what we have here. And I think kids that come are going to benefit. And maybe when you get here, you're not going to start where you wanted to. But if you work hard and listen and take advantage of the opportunities here, you will end where you want it to be. So,
yeah, wow, I love that. Love that story. Like the story about the coach pulling you aside.
Yeah.
Like the truth, like it says, like the truth. I mean, somebody can take that and be crushed by it, right? Or somebody can take that and use that as exactly what they need, which is the lesson, right? And to make a new decision. And I just find that there's less and less people willing to have that honest discussion with players right now. And I don't know if it's like the day and age, right? The environment that people are less willing to hear it. But I think that's where the most value can come from a coach, is someone who's willing to say what they honestly need to hear.
Yeah. I mean, it is crucial conversations got to be had. And I think players can look back. I mean, to me, I still remember the exact location at the rink. It was right outside the blue line on the away bench, right in the face-off dot. I still remember exactly where that conversation was had. And it was a big impact on me. And if you don't have those conversations, if you're just in a situation where kids are just coming in every year and leaving and jumping around, again, it's tough to have those impactful conversations. It's tough to get to know kids and what makes them tick. And I think kids need that. I always appreciate the honest feedback. I mean, every player does something good or well, but let's focus on those weaknesses too and make those better. And let's keep building on your strengths. But if you don't have honest conversations and you don't get the honest feedback, how do you know what to work on? They're young kids. I mean, they could be a great player, but if they're missing a piece of their game, the one thing you tell them might put them over the top to separate from the pack. And I think that's our job as coaches and as mentors, is not just to work on skills and systems and practices and games, but also have these one-on-one conversations. Say, listen, here's where we're at. We've been here for a month now. This is what I see. This is your areas of focus moving forward. It could be your strength coach, could be your skills coach or goalie coach, or it could be your head coach, or it could be another coach in the program that watches the game that sees things. And I see our coaches constantly pulling kids in and showing video clips, and it's not in their player. They just have an interest in the kids here. And I want to see kids succeed. I want to see kids move on. I squeezed the most out of my career. I mean, I never thought I would play AAA hockey, let alone junior and college and pro and all these things, and have a chance to win championships in pro hockey. And I just played because I loved it. But now I can look back at the coaches that had impacts on me, things that I appreciated as a player. Your coach is there to mentor and to build you up and make you a better person, a better player. And I think that's something that we take pride in.
No, I love it, because we all have blind spots, and I know that I still do at 49, right? Like we're just wired that way. We can work as much as we want in our self-awareness. And that is something that I love working with players on, like their ability to self-evaluate their game, where their holes are, but you need some direction, especially at the younger ages. And
it's crucial.
Yeah, and that's awesome. You guys are willing to have those talks. I'll share a quick Huddy story with you. Huddy doesn't listen to the podcast, so I can talk about him. That's my oldest boy. But it's good for parents, and it goes on that line of and coaches. It goes on that line of like truth, and it goes back to last year, which was his last year bantam, right? Second year bantam. He wants to get drafted. He's in the CSSHL. He's in U15 prep playing for rink. And his teammates, he's having success. Like, he's playing well. But his teammates are all getting, those applications or whatever they're called, right? From these WHL teams, interest forms, questionnaires, I guess. And he's not really getting any. There's not really much interest. Even his own coach isn't really playing him a ton, right? He's getting around 14, 15 minutes a game. And he's getting frustrated because he's working his tail off. but not necessarily working where, I was suggesting that he work. And we had a real heart to heart, and he's like, what's going on? Like, why I'm not even going to get drafted, and this, that, and the other. And I said, well, you know why you're not getting questionnaires? And he goes, no, why? And I said, because you can't skate. Like, I just straight up, I said, because you can't skate. Yeah. I'm like, you can't skate well enough to be assumed a WHL player at the next level. And I said, I can help you with that right now if you want to put the work in. But that's what's stopping you. Nothing else. Not your work ethic, not your compete. It's not your hockey IQ. It's your feet. And anyways, like, the best part of this story is that raw conversation turned into him working on that, like the skating stuff that I wanted him to work on off the ice, on the ice. And he just came back. Why it's so relevant for me. Like, yesterday, they did on ice skating again today with their team. He was the fastest player on his team in the 10-meter sprint. He was top 3 in fastest lap. Like, he was top 3 in everything that they did there yesterday. Like, so for anyone out there, like, I love that story just from what I do as well, right? It's like, you can be responsible for your own development. And if you're somebody that doesn't have great hands, there's a way to get better hands. Like, if you're willing to put the work in, there's a way to be a better skater. But you have to be curious, you have to be dedicated, and you have to have someone around you that's going to support you in that. And I just freaking love it. Like, I love that he's getting that feedback that, the work pays off. And it sounds like you got that exact feedback too, because if you walk into Notre Dame as a B player, you leave as a pro player, talked about that. I mean, because you obviously weren't, given first PP minutes the minute you walked through the door. Like, what was your own personal development process like?
It was, I got to a point where getting there and I wasn't too worried about I was happy I made a team. I got there and made a team. I got to throw the jersey on. I got to play in a rink that had glass and boards and not carpet and nets like we had in California. I got to get in a bus with a team and travel. So, I mean, those are all first-time experiences for me. And that was enough to get me through that first year. I made some really good friends. I think my coach was Darren Olson. He was a football coach, actually. We had so many kids at school there. They grabbed the football coach and said, Ole, you're going to coach the hockey team. And I always bug Ole to this day. I see him in Calgary. He said, man, if I had a good coach my first year, I could have been something. He always laughs. But I just loved the experience. But as I got there, I started to see, the Rod Brindamores, Dwayne Norris's, Jason Herder, Curtis Joseph. And I see these guys practice. I watch them play games. And I was a student of the game. I just loved to watch the game. I was a hockey nerd. And I would see things they would do in practice, and I would emulate that in my practices, and I would work on things until I could do it in practice. So then I'd bring it to my games, apply it in games at work. I started to slowly climb the ladder, and I think the next piece was the weight room, learning how to use the weight room, getting stronger, taking pride in that portion of it, and just really watching my peer group and seeing where I was. I was always, in my mind, like, okay, I'm as good as that kid. He's playing ahead of me right now, but I'm right there now. I'm going to catch him next year. Then go back to trials. I think my second year I was the last cut from the Bantam AAA team. In my second year, and then the next year I made midget AA. Was in the mix for AAA. And then my senior year, I finally caught everybody and got to that AAA level. And made a really good team that went to the Air Canada Cup, which is the TELUS Cup today. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm where I need to be in grade 12 from where I was in grade 9. I've made some serious leaps and bounds. So now what do I got to do next? And skating was one area for me, power skating, edge work, become a better skater, keep working on the puck skills. So my parents were very supportive. I did skating camps. There wasn't the individual skills coaches that you have nowadays everywhere. You had to go to different places, different markets in Canada or California, travel to get the coaching you needed. Again, supportive parents that were willing to drive me around the state of California, send me to Canada for these camps and clinics and ice times to get better. So for me, it was just seeing where I was mentally in my own mind, where I thought I could get to, and then skating with guys in the summer that were playing Division I or playing Western League. And then in my mind, comparing notes like, all right, I'm as good as this guy. He's playing here. Why can't I get there? And that really fueled me to keep working. I was a late bloomer, and I knew I had work to do, but I wasn't frustrated by it. In grade 12, the USHL Rochester Mustangs team drafted me, and then had the opportunity to play there, and then was in the SGHL the next year, and then college started calling, and then I went from there. So for me, it was a process. I embraced the grind. I didn't mind having to work, and my mindset was always someone out there is going to work harder than me. So my off ice workouts, my sprints, my footwork stuff was consistent through my summers. I didn't take days off, and I really enjoyed that grind. I love the hard work. I don't anymore in the weight room or on the ice, but when I was a younger player, I guess fear of failure drove me. I didn't want to let it was about my parents. There's no pressure from my parents to make it or get there. Hey, we're spending this money. You better get this scholarship. It was always like, hey, you having fun? The only thing my dad asked me as a youth hockey player was, hey, did you have fun today? The only time I got in crap was if I didn't work hard. That was it. The rest was just enjoy it, foster that love of the game. And there's no pressure from home to get to a certain level or be a certain player. It came from me. And I think that's what I passed down to my kids. Say, I can't do it for you. Like, here's your route. Here's your pathway. Here's what I think you need to do. You can buy in or not, but I'm not going to hold hands and force you to do something. You gotta have a passion for the game, and you have to love it. And I think the number one reason players have success at any level is they enjoy it. They love doing it. And when you love something, you're not going to want to let yourself down. You're going to want to put on the work in the weight room. You're going to want to put on the work on the ice. You're going to want to be a good teammate, be a leader. And those are things I learned through my time in Notre Dame, and I took pride in being a captain through my junior career, college, and pro. And I love the leadership aspect of what hockey does for us. And I think every kid should aspire to be that leader. It doesn't mean you have to wear a letter, but I think if you're consistent in your approach, and I define character as how you behave and nobody's watching. And if you're the same kid, sooner or later you're going to get noticed for it. I remember kids at ND that when the strength coaches in the weight room, they're putting in the work. They're going to work hard, but it's the kids I noticed that would show up before school or after school late, stay late. They were there consistently. After all, I'm like, hey, kid, keep putting in the work. You're gonna close some gaps here. You're gonna push through, and you're gonna pass some kids by. So there's lots of different areas as a hockey player you need to have be a 10 out of 10 in. And I think the last piece we all talk about, unfortunately, which is probably the most important, is the mental side. That mental toughness where when you do get cut or you didn't make that team or you didn't get that power play time, how do you respond? Do you have a bad attitude? Do you get frustrated? Do you blame others, or do you just go to work and find out what you need to do to get there? And then the coaches are willing to talk. You got to build relationships with your coaches. You got to have some clear feedback and direction is what you need to do. And I think that's something that we take pride in here. And hey, I didn't learn to run a power play until I was 26. I wasn't good enough for it. As I got older and, again, student of the game and worked in practices, I finally got my opportunity. But it's something that, again, you need the right people around you that understand you as a person, what makes you tick off the ice. And then on the ice, obviously, how do we get to that next level? And put in the work, have a plan in place, and put in the work.
I love it. I like that. I like that character definition. And it's one thing that when I'm talking with players or working with players who are interested in leadership or want to be leaders, I find that there's some confusion about what that is, especially at the younger levels, right? Like they think that they need to be the loudest guy in the room or the guy that, is running the team warm up or whatever the case may be. And those are all little indicators potentially, right? Like how socially aware you are and these types of things. Of course, that grows as players mature. But the one thing that I suggest, and it sounds like, you're in line with that, is lead yourself, right? Like if you lead yourself, like if you know what you want, and if you are an example of how to align with that goal and dream of whatever it is you want, that is going to show leadership to everybody else, because that's freaking hard to do. That's freaking hard to do. You're early, or you stay late, or your intensity in the workout or in practice, or your competitive spirit. Like if these are all things, like you said, are 10 out of 10, that's a leader. You don't even have to talk to anybody, right? Because they're going to want to be like you, and they're going to figure out, like, how can I be like them? Now, not only from that aspect, but also like the results aspect. They are going to get better. You are going to get better as an individual. People want to get better as well. So you end up bringing people along with you. So I always say, like, you know what, until you can lead yourself, don't worry about leading anybody else, because you're probably going to figure it out as you do it.
Yeah, very true. I mean, it's not, I always tell my captain, listen, the reason you're voted captain, and I have the peers vote. I like to see what our team, our players think of their their peers. Same time, it's going to be a coach's decision when it comes time to pick captains. But I just tell my guys, the reason you're a captain is because of what you're doing. Don't change a thing. You don't got to be more vocal, less vocal. You don't have to do anything different in practices. You work hard. Like, just keep doing what you do. And some young kids think they have to be more vocal or have to do things differently. But at the end of the day, you're respected by your peers and your coaching staff. That's enough. And I always look at, guys like Joe Sakic when he was playing. He was a quiet leader, but just everything the right way on the ice, off the ice, and didn't have to say much because players just watch and say, okay, that's how we got to play. This is what we have to do. And some guys are probably more vocal, like a Mark Messier. You come in and take the bull by the horns and say, this is what we need to do. And, I look at Char in Boston. I knew their equipment manager there in Boston, the things he talked about inside the locker room, helping pick up sticks after games and load bags on the bus. And he wasn't above anything, picking up pucks after practice. So, sometimes people think they have to lead by, being more vocal or telling people what to do. And that's really your coach's job. Your job is to be humble, help your teammates out, pick them up if the coach yells at them and they have a tough game, not to jump on them and say you cost us the game, but hey, don't worry about it. We got tomorrow. Bounce back, and we got your back. So I think it's a slippery slope at times with young leaders. It's tough because they're not usually mentally mature enough to have that pressure to have to lead a whole group. That's where it's just, hey, like you said, focus on yourself. Just do what you do, lead yourself, and the rest will follow.
When it comes to University of Anchorage, Alaska, so you go from Wilcox, Saskatchewan to University of Anchorage, and not that, that's not a big town or a big city, but it's obviously a heck of a long way away from all the other D1 hockey schools. So you were a little bit of a nomad there as well. Talk about that experience heading up to NCAA and playing in Anchorage.
Yeah, it was awesome. I got to a point. I had schools like Maine and Michigan State, Miami, Ohio, Colorado College, and Anchorage, and I got through about Christmas time, and I went for a visit. I liked the guys there. The rink at that time was packed. It was 6,500 fans. The fans were great. I had a good time there with the players on the weekend. I enjoyed the staff, and I got back to Wilcox, and I just made a decision. I said, hey, listen, to myself, I'm going to a place that's going to be going into the WCHA, which was the best conference at the time in college. They were losing 6 defensemen. They carried 8. So I looked at opportunity. I said, in my mind, I'm confident I'm going to play every game. I'm going to get there. I'm not going to be a healthy scratch. I'm going to step in and play. A new experience. Alaska's far away, yes, but when you're traveling with 20, 23 other players, and you're having a chance to play in all these different rinks in Denver, North Dakota, Minnesota, Duluth, and CC, and all these other places, the travel didn't bother me at all. I thought it was an opportunity to see the world and be in a unique situation. And I fell in love with Alaska. I met my wife there, got married up there, got friends and family still there to this day. And I love the outdoors. I love to fish. So I got into that heavy when I was there. I spent summers there. I worked in the summers, trained up there, and hit the Kenai River pretty much 2 or 3 days a week with my roommates or friends in town. I met some friends today that were season ticket holders and fans of the game that I'm still in touch with that are now in Idaho, actually. So I see them when I go to Boise, and we still hang out and fish and golf. And it was just a great experience. And a lot of people say, well, man, it's so far away. The travel must have sucked. I'm like, you don't know different. When you're that age, you're playing cards. You're having a great time in the airports. It was all laughs. It was a great group of kids when I was there. And the cool thing for us when we traveled is we got to spend Saturday nights in the other team's towns. So we didn't leave after. A lot of teams will pack the bus, hit the airport, and just bus back home after games. We got to go on Saturday nights in North Dakota, Minnesota, you name it. Our coach was pretty lenient back then. He was pretty good to us. Make sure you're on the bus for the airport and the way home. So we had a good time. And hockey is you got friends in every team, or somebody knows somebody on the other team. So we got taken into their homes, their parties. I got to enjoy the extracurricular stuff in college, which Saturday nights is for, because you have pretty much routines Monday through Saturday is pretty much the same thing: school, hockey, and training. So Saturday's kind of your night to blow off some steam and have some fun. So we got to experience all the different college towns, which was great. I made a lot of good friends on the other teams because of that. I'm still in contact with today, and it 4 years there was awesome. It was great for me. I got to play every game. I got to play a ton. I really grew as a person. I grew as a player. and it gave me an opportunity to move on in the game. So I'm forever thankful for my experience at UAA.
Take a short break from the podcast with Jeremy to remind you that Up My Hockey is much more than a podcast. It is a personal development tool, and it is a place to get your mindset taken care of. Sharpen what matters most, and that is your mental fitness, and that is what we specialize in here at Up My Hockey. If you are interested about what that is, what that entails, by all means, there's a few avenues to do that. Go visit the website upmyhockey.com. You can see what some of the services are there. You can also visit the parent group on Facebook if you're a Facebooker. It's an awesome community, almost 3,000 members now. We support each other. We talk about things that matter. You're also first to see some of the new things that are launched with Up My Hockey. You get some free tips and tricks in that group, so you can do that at Up My Hockey parent group on Facebook. We do have an Up My Hockey business page on Facebook that you're welcome to follow. I'm also quite active on Instagram, so you can follow at Jason Podolin if you want to look up that, or you can also look up My Hockey. You will also find my handle on Instagram there. So lots of ways to get involved with Up My Hockey. One thing I do recommend for anyone who is interested for their player, whether you are a player listening to this or whether you are a parent listening to this for your player, there is what I call my player mindset quiz. This is a great way to open the door to mental fitness and what could be available on the other side. It's a very quick quiz. It tells me and also tells you where you are currently at with your mental fitness, things that maybe bother you, things that you strive in, maybe some things you struggle with or are neutral at. And it kind of opens your eyes to the idea of like, oh, I've never really thought about how this impacts me as a hockey player, how this mental side of the game can have a positive effect on me. So that's a great way to open the door. I check out all of the mindset quizzes personally. If I feel that it's like an automatic that this would be something that would benefit you, I reach out personally and say, hey, let's get you involved. At the worst case scenario, it is a little bit of a self-assessment into where your mindset is at. And if that's all it is for you, then that's great. It only takes 5 minutes of your time. So you can find that on the website. You can find that on Instagram, the player quiz. So great way to get introduced to mental fitness and what the programming might do for you. So without any further promotions here, well, let's get back to the conversation with Jeremy Mylymok. And ended up playing pro yourself. You bounced around AHL, IHL, ended up kind of found a home in Idaho there with the Steelhead, which I find was super cool, right? Because you end up, after you're done pro, you end up going back to Notre Dame where you started, and then now you're back in Idaho where you kind of finished. So it's interesting the way your scenario worked there. But yeah, talk to me about your pro experience and maybe how you ended up in Idaho and called that home for so many years.
Yeah, so I mean, I left college and I still had the itch to play. I wanted to see how far I could take this, so I had the opportunity to play in Toledo at the end of my college season with my old college roommate. Actually, he talked to the coach there. They brought me in, and I got to play end of the season and playoffs in Toledo and had a great experience. And it just worked out that the assistant coach there moved on to Chicago Wolves in the IHL, so he brought me there to camp. He really liked me and got me an invite there, and that's where for me that mental toughness and the ability to understand what I was as a player, what I needed to do. And it was a tryout. I mean, I wasn't signed. They had, I think, 70 signed when we got there. I remember guys in the locker room talking, saying, why are we even here? They already got 7 guys on one ways. No one's making this team. And I just sat in my stall like, I'm making this team. I don't care what it takes. Like, he's going to trade somebody or cut somebody, whatever. I'm going to make this team. And as we went through the trial process, back then it was a red sticker in your stall if you're getting cut. So after each skate, guys would come in there, seated, pack their bags, have their meeting, and leave. And never saw that red sticker. So I had a chance to make an impact there. And then when the season started after preseason, the coach
I want to stop you for a second. So that mindset is huge, of course, right? That you're seeing an opportunity where other guys aren't, right? So you're making, you're going to knock the wall down or break through it, or whatever the case may be. But it's one thing of having that idea, which I think is imperative, or else it wouldn't have happened. But like, how did that transfer into like action on the ice that actually made it a realization?
I didn't play to make friends there. I mean, honestly, on the ice, I pissed off everybody. I mean, I was a stay at home, stay defensive. I was smart. I liked to hit. My passion was hitting. I hit hard. I wasn't a big defenseman, so I had to play a certain way. Wasn't a power play guy, so I mean, most teams probably say, "What are you doing with this kid here at camp? Like, what's he going to bring?" And I think through the process, again, didn't matter if it was a returning captain or a returning veteran. I remember going after their 60 goal scorer in training camp, and he was pissed off. He shot a puck at me, and you know how that goes. And he was fired up, and I just said, "Hey, whenever you're ready, I'm here. I'm waiting for you." And I go back to the bench, and Wendell Young, who's still with the Chicago Wolves organization, is the GM there for years now. But he pulled me aside, said, "Kid, keep doing it. We love it." You know, that's coming from a veteran goalie. He won Stanley Cups. He won Memorial Cups. He won IHL Cups. He won Americas. He won everything in hockey you could have. So have a guy like that pull me aside, say, "Keep doing it." That was confidence. I mean, I knew I was doing the right thing, and I was opening some eyes. And then after the trials were done, they called me in and said, "Hey, we had no intention of keeping you, but we're going to keep you. We're going to make room. We're going to find a way to make it work." So I stuck around there at the start of the season. I stuck around the first month, but eventually made my way back down to the East Coast League. And then you fast forward to that year, I got traded to Pensacola, did well there. They're affiliated with Quebec. They signed me for the next 2 years. And then fast forward to that year, Chicago's making a playoff run. They got a really good team. They're looking for depth for defense. They go back to training camp with the Chicago Wolves, 3 years ago, and say, "How about Mylymok? He's the guy we had here. We loved him. Let's bring him in." And got a chance to get there. And then a couple D got hurt during the season. Next thing you know, I'm playing every game in playoffs and win a cup with Chicago. So, I mean, you just never know what's, your pathways in this game, and things can change in a heartbeat. And this way, when you stick with it and you work hard, your time will come. It's not always easy, and there's times you're getting scratched as a player. Where I was in my career, I wasn't drafted a high-end prospect, so I was that guy kind of in and out of the lineup, but I never pouted or was upset. I still hung out with the team. I still did things with the team. I had fun with the guys, and then it was time to play. I was ready, and then took advantage of the opportunity and played every game, and then came back the next year and played there again. And it was just, for me, it was a level I never thought I'd get to. I was happy. A lot of people complain, say I'm not in the NHL, so the sucks or this is bad. Their attitudes are bad. They get sent down from the NHL. Their attitudes are poor. Or they're blaming up their advisor or the coaches up there, and I'm better than this guy. Why is he up, and why am I down? And I never looked at it that way. I was fortunate. I thought to be there, and I was going to take advantage of it and enjoy it. And just so happened I did, and I got to play at a high level. A lot of kids don't get to, and something that again helped shape my career path in life afterwards with the people I met, and we stay in touch with the owners and the players to this day. So it's been great. And even after I got released the next year, I was on the last year of my contract with Chicago. Went back to the East Coast League, and they had another strong team. And again, come playoff time, the guys were still there that I won a championship with. They told the GM, which is Kevin Cheveldayoff, and Johnny Anderson was the coach, said, "Hey, bring Millsy back. Let's go. We need him back in the locker room. He's a great guy, and he can play if we need him." So I came back there for their playoff run, won another cup, got another ring, and had another experience with this different group of guys, but a lot of the core guys from my previous year in '98 where we won. And it was cool. It was again, for me, it was just an experience that I never thought I would have had when I pulled into Notre Dame in grade 9 and saw where I was as a player playing Band B. To get to that level and win was just gravy for me for my career. So I was excited to do it.
That's awesome. Who did you play in the final? Do you remember the two teams you beat?
Yeah, so we played Detroit Vipers, and then we played Grand Rapids Griffins. So It was Detroit was a rivalry. That was a tough series. They had a tough team, and they were very skilled, but they were a heavy team. We actually had a brawl in warm-ups before Game 7. You can believe it or not. I was actually in my dressing room after warm-ups, getting my skates off. I heard the fans erupt, and I'm like, all right, that's not normal, for warm-ups. It was a home game, Game 7, and I went to the TV monitors in our change room, and I was like, oh, get my skates back on. We got something going on, boys. So we all came back up the tunnel, and I'll never forget the ref came in the locker rooms after warm-ups, after it all got cleaned up and guys got separated. He just walked in and said, "You know what? No penalties, no suspensions. The best team's going to win. It's Game 7. It's TV game on Fox." He's like, "We're all playing, so good luck." And he walked out of the room. We looked around. We're like, "This is amazing." Yeah, so end up winning 3-1. And yeah, great experience. 18,000 fans, packed house, grew a very passionate fan base in Chicago. And to win at home in front of your home crowd and your owners and your staff was a great experience, and something that, never forget that one.
That's wild. Well, the reason I ask is because I was like, oh my gosh, did we play against each other? Because when I was with the Sound Taggers, Bridgeport, we played in the final against Chicago, and we ended up getting swept. I think maybe swept 2 overtime games.
Okay.
Anyways, but I'm so bad with years, but I think ours was just
That
in
was
the early
American League,
2000s.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just in the early 2000s when they switched back to
Yeah.
the A.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they always
Long
had a
gone.
powerhouse there, and that Steve Maltese just kept scoring goals too. My gosh, looks like he didn't know how to do anything else. What's your story on him? Just kind of a little off topic. Do you think was it his skating? Was that why he couldn't be an NHLer? Like, well, he's just scored so much at the minor level.
It's funny. That's the guy that I got into with in my first try. My first trial was him. So when I got traded there, he was pissed off I got traded because he did not like me, because I played against him that whole year, and I used to go after him. But they had become a good friends, as you know, in the hockey world. But you know what? I think it was just he scored 60 goals 3 years in a row. It was Chicago Wolves. I played in I think Tampa, maybe Boston, but I just think for him it would have been all right. You need to be here as a bottom 6 and play that role until you get your opportunity to be a top 6. And I don't think either didn't want to do it or felt he just deserved more when he got there. And let's face it, in NHL, there's guys there they have already signed or drafted or have been there for their top 6. And I think for him to be a bottom 6 would have been an ask a little bit for him, because he's a power play guy. He shoots the puck, he fills the net. And all of a sudden, you got to change your role you've had since junior hockey and first 4 or 5 years of pro. You're filling the nets. Like, now you're expected to be this. Maybe he just couldn't make that shift. I don't know, because he was 6'1", 210. He wasn't he was a good skater. He was a strong skater, smart on the walls. He was an intelligent player. He was mean too. He didn't fight, but I mean, he was mean with a stick, and he would throw the elbows. So I don't know. I mean, I think some guys you just watch and you're like, all right, he could probably step up here, be a bottom 6 hit, and still do his job, and maybe push up top 6 with injuries or opportunities, and then maybe puts one in the back of the net, and then he gets that opportunity. So I'm not sure why. That could have been it, but yeah, he was a heck of a player, and yeah, he's one of those guys when you before you get to pro hockey, you look at guys' stats, you see where they're at. I remember seeing guys getting 100 points a year in the ECHL, 40 goals, 120 points. In your mind, you're like, why isn't he in the American League? And then you play against him, you're like, I don't know why he's not in the American League, because he feeds on the power play. He doesn't work hard. He's lazy, bad attitude, whatever it is. But Maltz wasn't that way. He was a hardworking guy, and he could fill the net. But hey, there's sometimes this opportunity, sometimes this role is given, sometimes it's taken advantage of those times, and it's a short window for some guys. You take advantage or you don't.
Definitely. Yeah, a lot of good players. A lot of good players out there for sure. Everyone has their own story. What about your time in Idaho? I'm just going to preface, because I think it's a pretty cool story. Terry Ryan, I think I might have brought him up to you, but so Terry Ryan, who's now gone on to some fame with Shoresy, and he's kind of all over the place. Spitting Chicklets has had him on and stuff, and he was a heck of a hockey player in his own right. I mean, first rounder to Montreal. I think he was top 5 or top 6 in the draft, and didn't have the NHL career that he wanted, but he ended up playing with you in Idaho. And so, well, I'll just maybe leave it there. Just talk to me about Idaho. Talk about your time there, and I'll tell you my Terry Ryan story after you get done.
There's lots of Terry Ryan stories. So we could go an hour just on Terry, I think. So I was actually after I got sent down from Chicago, I finished in ECHL. Actually, was in Jackson, Mississippi, where my oldest son was born, believe it or not. And I was looking for a place to I knew I wasn't going to NHL. I wanted to find a good home, a place I could, start my family. Be in a great community, a place I can get involved in the community, give back, and just hunker down for life types of situations. So I looked at different places. I grew up in California, so San Diego was kind of the top of my list, and I was going to go there. And then John Oliver stepped in. He saw me play in college. John's probably the best recruiter I've ever seen, and at any level, he's amazing. He had my number. He had a big notepad he kept. It was pen and paper back then, and he had my name circled, and he called me in Mississippi at the end of the season, and he actually flew me to Boise for a visit. And I got there and I was like, wow, this place is unbelievable. I mean, facilities, the arena's great. Downtown, you get the river runs through downtown. You got the golfing. It's the climate's great. The people, I call it Pleasantville. The people were amazing. And I came back from that visit and looked at my wife. I said, "We're going to Boise." She's like, "We're going to San Diego." She's like, because she went to college in San Diego. She wants to wear sandals and shorts, and she was looking forward to the sunshine. And I just said, "You're going to go for a visit," and then put her on a plane probably that week. She went there for a visit, looked at houses, and said, "Yeah, we're going to Boise." So it's a cool place, and I signed a 3-year deal there. We bought our first house, and Connor was 6 months old when we moved there, and I just fell in love with the community, the people. Coach was great. We had good teams. It was kind of I'd say similar when I look at Coeur d'Alene when I got here. I got to Boise. I'm thinking, okay, you got this beautiful arena downtown. You have great community. We get treated well in town. Um, why haven't you won yet? And John Albert came there and took over, master recruiter, very strong coach. He thrives on getting character people, and he looked at that, okay, we're going to build this thing into a championship caliber team. And our first year, just seeing the guys he brought in, I was amazed. Like this level, I'm like, this is like an IHL team or American League team. We were very good. And we got to the finals that year, lost in game 7. We lost the next year in the finals again. And then year 3, we actually switched to the ECHL, and we won the cup there, the Kelly Cup, in that year in Boise. And unreal place. I mean, we had core of the team probably had 6-7 guys that were there the whole time, that stayed together, that lived there, had family started there. So we had a really tight group of veteran guys there. And so when Joe recruited and brought guys in, he let us be part of the process. We take these guys out golfing for dinner, get to know them, and make sure they're a right fit for our culture. And had success there every year. Every year we had good teams, and every year we were top of the league. And it's something that I take pride in saying, all right, kind of came here and they were never very good. And when he left for the championship, gave him the city its first championship there. A lot of guys stayed in the community that lived there. And so when I went through the process with the Steelheads, now Luke's born. He was born in 2001. I got 2 kids that are growing up. And so we stayed 6 more years after that in Boise. We lived there. I just got to a point where I just felt with what I was doing with work and when my kids were in their hockey careers, I just felt they needed more. And I wasn't afraid of moving around. I spent my life moving around from a young age through my dad's work and through high school and junior hockey. And kids are resilient. And I just looked at like an opportunity to get better myself, move to Florida, and get in that program there and then back to Wilcox. But deep down, I always knew I was coming back to Idaho somehow or some way. I'm like, I love the state. I love the people. I love the outdoors. I love to fly fish. I love to golf. My kids love all the same. We have the same passions in life, so they love it here as well. So it was tough to leave their friends behind the first time, but the experience I gave them really shaped their personalities and their work ethic, and just understanding that change can be good and that it's a big world out there. My dad always taught me it's a big world, Jeremy. Don't be afraid to make changes or make moves. You miss out on so many opportunities if you don't take advantage of these changes. So
Right.
I learned that from a young age, and I wasn't scared to move. I was excited. And when you're in the field of hockey, I mean, the faces changed, but the characters stay the same. So you meet good people in this line of work. So it was
Yeah.
great.
That's wild. So was that a big deal in Boise? Like as far as winning the championship, did Boise itself like really get behind the team, and did they know
Yeah.
how big of a deal that was?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, we drew well there. I mean, I think they're the top drawing program in that league every year. You go to win. I go back right now during the season. Actually, my son's first pro stint was with the Steelheads. Luke's first pro goal was against the Steelheads. I got to see all that. So for me to go back there and see them in that environment that I played in was pretty cool. But yeah, the fans are nuts. I mean, I go back now to get tickets, and I got to pull strings with the players that are there or the staff there. And I played there for 6 years. My jersey's on the wall. They retired my jersey in 2006, I think. But they've done a great job. And back then, there was we played Florida in the finals, and we lost Friday night. We were up 3-1. And our saying, back then was Saturday nights, we don't lose Saturday night in Boise. And we knew we were going to win, and we had the team to do it. So it was crazy. I mean, the stands were packed. Everybody's just white out. Atmosphere was great. The town was buzzing the whole time, and the community was excited. And it's not a big sports town as far as you look at pro sports. Back then, BSU wasn't that strong. The football team, they've since become a strong program, but back then we were packing it in every game, and we were very well received in town. And our players, and they love living there. They still do. It's a great place to live. So I think it's looking back in 2000, going there and helping the shift from kind of just a good place to play to being the premier place to play. And expectation is not just to be here, but to win, was something that I took pride in leaving there, knowing that when I got there, that wasn't always the expectation, but leaving there with a championship ring and seeing the banners go up in the rink now and you go back and visit, there's a lot of pride in that. And it's a cool community. And any kid that's at that level, it's the place to play.
That's awesome. So you have your jersey freaking in the rafters, and you still have to make phone calls to get tickets? Jeez, what the heck's up with that?
Yeah, I know. I call. I give them the advance. They're like, Millsy, we're packed. I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, well, give me something. Get me in there. So I don't know enough people there, though, which is great. I mean, I think it's, they've worked hard in that community. They've gone through some lean years with the fans because BSU got real big, and BSU took that market over the football team where they've had a fight and claw for their fans. But yeah, it's a great venue for sure.
That's awesome. Take another short break from the podcast just to remind anyone out there who is a head coach, who is president of a minor hockey association, who is a director of hockey, as Jeremy is, that Up My Hockey could be your gateway to a more robust, more beneficial, more developmental program. If you don't have mental fitness involved in your academy, with your team, in your minor hockey association, you are definitely missing out. This is something that is becoming much more common, and even, in my opinion, a requirement. This is something that coaches cannot be responsible for, at least properly, in my opinion. Unless you're in this all the time, like we are here at Up My Hockey. We're trying to find ways to support people's confidence, support their mental fitness, support their personal development. It is hard to do. I mean, coaches are backlogged. Having a system in place that you can plug and play and staple on your existing on-ice programming is the easy, natural way to do it. And we have a proven success record with how we are impacting players on the daily basis. So if this is something that you think is great, that you would like to at least consider for the 25-26 season, by all means, check out upmyhockey.com, fill out the contact form. We can discuss what that would look like for all your programs. Take the wear and tear away from your coaches. Have a done-for-you, stapled on mental fitness curriculum that will not only help your players on the ice with better performances, with more wins, but also help your players off the ice with less issues, being able to handle adversity, being able to be a better teammate, be able to be invested in their own personal development. This is one of the biggest game changers that you will see happen for your team or for your association. So don't be shy. Check out upmyhockey.com or email me direct at either jason@upmyhockey.com or admin@upmyhockey.com, and we will look after you. All right, now let's get back to the conversation with Jeremy Mylymok. Well, so I'm going to tell you my Terry Ryan story and to the listeners. So Terry, I know him well enough, obviously, to give him a call or to text or whatever. And it was when we were trying to decide what to do this year with the program, right? Where are my boys going to play? And, what am I going to do? Am I going to be involved in some capacity? This, that, and the other. And I wasn't really sure at that point, where I fit into the scheme, but I knew that we were going to probably find a new home for Hudson at least, and maybe the other two. And so when I saw that you were the head coach down there in Coeur d'Alene, and then saw that, Terry had played with you, and I did know some other guys, I said, hey, Terry, tell me about this Jeremy Mylymok. What about him? I might have Hudson play for him this year. And it was pretty wild, dude. So, I've heard some pretty good character references before, like there is some pretty good ones out there that I've come across, but Terry's for you was like top shelf. Like he actually, it was a voice message. And I think he actually used the line that if there was 5 people in the world that I would choose to raise my own child, Jeremy would be one of them. And I was like, wow, like that's a statement, An impressive statement. I thought that was so cool because really, if you boil down to like, where would you want to send your kid as in a hockey capacity? Like you'd want to send them where someone's going to look after him, right? Is going to be an
Yeah,
example. Is going to be
yeah.
somebody that's going to lead and provide that type of environment. So, anyways, Terry Ryan definitely has your back. I thought that was a really cool message that he gave, and one that I just really wanted to share with everyone else because that's high praise.
That's cool. Yeah, Terry's awesome. But I try to treat my teammates the same way, whether kids were, the veteran guys or the rookies coming in, try to make everybody feel at home. The same thing in our academy here. There's not one kid more important than the other. They all have their needs and they all have their moments. They need to be mentored. They're young kids trying to find their way, not just in hockey but in life. And I think there's so many life lessons learned through hockey with accountability, leadership, work ethic, social skills, everything that because we have the advantage for us, I believe, because our offices are here. We're here 6 days a week with these kids, so we have a chance to have a positive impact on them in life, not just hockey. And for Terry to say that's high praise, and I appreciate it. And Terry's a guy too that we love him as a teammate. He would do anything for you. I still remember I got cheap shotted against a Colorado team, and the first guy there was Terry, and the first guy to go off that guy was Terry. And when I was out for probably I think 4 weeks, and we played them. The first game back was against that team, and Terry's like, "I got him, Mills." I said, "No, I got him first. You can have him second." And Terry went to him and said, "All right, you got Millsy, then me, then you got this guy next." He goes, "You're getting all three." I think Yablonski was there because you're getting all three today. So welcome back. That's the kind of guy he was. He'd do anything for his teammate. You talk about guys willing to give their shirt off their back. That was Terry. He's a high character guy. He's a great guy in the room. I can't say enough about him too, and it's fun. It's fun to watch him where he's progressed. We still stay in touch, and like you talked to Terry about me, I'm the same thing. I say, give me some scoops on Padalin here, and he's the same thing. He said, "You know what? Unbelievable guy. He's a guy you want in your program. He's a guy that's going to help take you to another level." So it was cool that we have. I mean, hockey's a small world, right? That's what I think a lot of parents don't get. A lot of players don't get that. Wherever you go, we're going to know somebody there. And if you're not going to behave the right way or do the right thing, they're going to call me. You might not want to call me, but they're going to, because any program I think worth their weight is not just going to take kids. They're going to do their research. They're going to call their coaches, their previous coaches. They're going to call somebody they know, that coach, or they might call a teammate's dad they know well that played with your son. So it's a very connected world out there. And I think this one thing for us, for our culture, is not just bringing in good players. We want good people. I think I tell my staff, it's not always about the best players, it's about the right players. And the right players will turn into your best players. And I know that because I was one of those players. I wasn't the best player. I was the right person though at these programs. And I knew going through the process as a young kid and through pro hockey that it's not always the best players that make it. It's the ones that put in the work, that are coachable, that are good people, because who doesn't want to be around a good kid?
Yeah.
It's that way at the American League and NHL. Sometimes the most skilled guy is not going to make the NHL. It's going to be, here's the guy that puts the work every day. He does the right things. He's a leader. He competes. He skates. We got to be able to skate and have the skill set to play there. But at the same time, they want the right people, because you don't win championships without the right people.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's great. And a great message to parents out there too, because what you're doing right now, whether you deem it for your kid or because of your kid, or, it might have the best interest you feel at heart, but boy, like those stories travel fast too. Parent stories, what they will do, how they get involved, what they won't do. And you, it's a small enough world where that can catch up as well, anyway.
Yeah. Nothing against anybody. It's just, hey, I got 6 teams here, so I don't want to spend my time on the phone every day with little things or problems in the stands, or problems in the parking lot or hotels, or behind the scenes conversations with their kids. It's like, hey, just trust us to do what we do. Our only thing we want to do is make your kid better. That's it. There is an expense to this whole academy lifestyle. But at the same time, that's why I always tell parents, hey, it might not be Coeur d'Alene, but here's my checklist of what I would ask other teams for. This is what we offer. This is what we have. And take this checklist and use it. I know you're all talking different programs, but make your decision based off the people there, because that'll be the biggest difference maker in your kid's career, is the people that he's surrounded by, not the hockey. Hockey's hockey. There's skills coaches, there's goalie coaches, there's ice time. We're all getting the same thing. So I think what it boils down to is, who are the people in these programs that you can trust with your kids development, not just in hockey, but socially, academically, and make them better people.
Yeah. What do you think of the highlights for Coeur d'Alene, as far as like what drew you down there? What you think is puts you maybe a bit ahead of some of the other options out there right now?
I think it's the people. I think the staff, our teachers are fantastic. I mean, everyone that comes through here, they meet with their academic side first. They get on the ice. They see I mean, again, I think the separation is people. I really do. I think you got to have a great staff. Our teachers we own a private school. We're fully accredited private school. So our kids graduate from here with diplomas. We have all NCAA approved classes. Our school's Monday through Thursday. The kids get a ton of support, whether it's before school, during their spares, or after school. They simply got to send an email or text or just walk up to the teacher and say, hey, I'm struggling in math. Can I get some help? They get it. They don't get left behind. We're a very hockey-centric academy because that's what we do. But at the same time, we don't lose sight of academics or the human side. The social side, whether it's mental health, we have support systems in place for mental health for kids. It's they're young kids and they get a lot thrown at them with social media and expectations and pressures. So I think it's important to have the support on the mental health side. And what drew me here was the owner. I got to know him over the years through the CSSHL. He's been here now for I think 12 years when he bought this academy. His kid wasn't even playing hockey at the time. He just loved sports, and he played he played Division I football and NFL and CFL. He understands how hard it is to get there and things you need in place, whether it's the right people, the right programming. He has a passion for sports and for, as he says, I want to build employable kids for the future, not just hockey players, and we stick to that code. But I just loved his vision. I came here for a visit, and I just realized, from afar, I've always seen this program that wasn't very good, wasn't winning a lot of games, but they always had teams. I'm like, man, every year they're not good. They fill it. They fill it. What's there? I kind of want to get under the hood here. And so I came for a visit and checked it out. I talked with the owner extensively about what I saw, my vision of what I've been through. I made mistakes as a director and as a coach through my time. I've learned from them, and I know what works, what doesn't work. I felt online school doesn't work. I felt it was important to have an in-person learning situation for kids, just socially, accountability, building relationships with your teachers, with your fellow students is huge. I like that culture. So he agreed, and we brought that in. Facilities, there's things here that we needed in the weight room that I thought we had I think we had things that we needed, but there's wants. And when my sons came back in my first summer and trained, he sat them down and said, hey, what are we missing? What do we need here to train hockey specifically? And the boys sat down. My sons, Connor and Luke, gave him a list. And to my owner's credit, we got that list. So we went to work and got with some different vendors and ordered all the equipment in there. So everything these kids need and want is here now. And we added a full-time strength coach. I thought it was important that our kids aren't just in the weight room with a piece of paper saying, here's your program. They need mentorship in the weight room, just like they need in the classroom or on the ice. So our strength coach works with our kids 4 days a week in the weight room. Could be yoga, it could be a recovery day, but when it's time to work out, they have to learn how to train sports specifically. I guess my philosophy has always been you can't be elite on the ice unless you're elite off of it. So I think having them learn this new area, embrace the grind of the weight room, and light bulb moments go off as they get stronger and faster because of their off ice habits, gets better at the nutrition side. So, and then we got the rink here. Each team has their own dressing room, and plans were for a second arena, which is being built right now. Since you were here, Jason, the walls are pretty much up on that rink now. They're
wow.
It's been exciting to walk outside every day and look over and see that rink going up. So I just think the land behind us, we're going to put a restaurant, maybe a gymnasium or outdoor turf field, bring other sports, looking at a golf academy. We're sitting in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I remember talking to my coaches this year. They were, we want to win more games. We want to be more successful. And I said, hey, guys, if you look at things through a microscope, we're going to be disappointed. But if you pull back the lens a little bit through a telescope and see we're in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and we now have competitive teams that are winning games in the sports school league. They're having success. We got kids that are getting offers in North American League, BCHL. Western League teams are obviously looking at our players. So to see the growth we've had and understanding where we're at, and have a guy like you that wants to come in that has an extensive background in youth hockey, pro hockey, that would even think about coming here, is a feather in our cap. And the families that were here for tryouts from different academies throughout this league have been here now, walked the grounds and met the staff, and texting me. They're so excited to be here. They had no idea what we had. So for us, it's just getting that word out, getting more people in here, getting better people in here, better players. And the next step for our program is going to be, aesthetically with the grounds, the parking lot, the second arena, the other, parts of the facility we're growing with the golf academy. There's going to be a full-blown sports academy down the road here in the Northwest, which not a lot of places have. So that excites me. And it was a vision he had. And people say, well, you can't take a risk. There's nothing there right now. How do you know he's going to do it? Maybe his kid graduates in grade 12 and he sells there, he moves on. I'm like, I'm a big people person. I just get to know people and I got a good feel for where they're at. I ask a lot of questions and I spend a lot of time with people and in those situations to get a good feel, get a good read. And there's no red flags for me with his vision and what he said he could do or what he wanted to do. And I've seen him. He's a very smart business guy. He does things the right way. He doesn't get ahead of himself. He wants to make sure things are in place. And now that the hockey's growing and thriving, I think we had 2 teams here year one. We're at 6 right now. We're going to have plans to add a U18 female team. And that second rink is done. Add a 15 prep. So now we're going to 8 teams plus golf plus other sports. So it's happening real fast. The days aren't long enough. The weeks are too short right now. But I'm excited. I have a passion for this and to see where it's gone. And what gives me most pride is when I talk to my owner. He calls with updates and he's excited. He's really excited and proud of what he's put together here, and he loves the staff and what we have. So we're not just me. Our whole staff's like me. They love it. They love being here. Love spending time. And at the end of the day, I want to see kids move on and chase their dream. And I tell kids all the time, I made mistakes. I'm going to tell you what you're doing right now. So don't learn the hard way. Learn the easy way. Start doing this or this. Whether it's attitude, workouts, or eating habits, you name it, we have a direct impact on these kids' livelihoods. And I think it's something that excites us as a staff and as a program. And we're ready to take another step next season and grow this thing. I think we have I believe we have the premier spot in one of the premier spots in North America for what we have. I mean, As far as facilities, as far as our staff, as far as the league we're in, competition, development, I'll put us up against anybody in the nation for what we have. And people can look at history and say we haven't been very good. Well, yeah, we got to start somewhere, and that somewhere started 3 years ago. We've taken steps every year. We're going to keep growing. And again, to me, it's about getting the right people here. Get the right people, you get the right kids.
Yeah, it's so fun even listening to you. Obviously, you have a ton of passion for it. For me, from an outside looking in, I mean, you can get caught up into it being there all the time, right? And you almost can forget in some aspects, like how special it is. Like with me walking through the doors there, like for everybody listening who is considering a spot, like we've been. We were at Rink Kelowna, and I'm familiar with a lot of the programs around. And one of the things that I was found instantly attracted to was the the arena is separated by a parking lot to the school, which is connected by a doorway to the training facility. And the training facility you have access to, the players essentially have access to almost all the time. Like, it's not like you have a dedicated 1 hour window where you get access to this thing, right? Like they can be in there when they want to be in there. And like, that's, to me, like anyone who knows anything about development is like, that's the key, is like, can you have access to your own development? And they do. And again, like the access to the teachers with where the classrooms is and how they're set up is amazing. The fact that they can walk to practice is amazing. And even like the town is small enough that whether you're living on site, with one of the hockey houses that you guys have, or whether you're with a billet or you've rented, like what's the maximum you are away from the rink? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? Like,
you're 10, 15 max. I mean, everything's
it's 10, 15 max, no matter where you're at. So as far as like, you still get time at home too. So it's, I mean, all those things to me, like as a hockey dad looking for a place to, invest for my kids is like, wow, like you get the family time, you get the access to the development, you get the great staff, the facilities are right there, you're in the right league, and you're in a beautiful frickin' town to top it all off, right? Like with all these extra things that they have. So, I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, I think it's a diamond in the rough still. And obviously that the spotlight's opening up, though. I mean, to your point, you said the first year that you were there, you had 15 kids or something show up for the development skate, and this last year or last couple weekends ago, there's over 150 or something. So, how special is that?
Yeah, it was cool to see. I mean, it's rewarding. It's a lot of hard work, but again, it's the right people, and I think you need someone in my seat that people trust that has done it. we had a lot of success at Notre Dame when I was there. We won Talus Cups. We had the girls in the SO Cup championship. So actually 2 years were in the Talus Cup when I was there. And I just think you got to do things the right way. It's all about your staff, your people, and having a program that's going to hold kids accountable. They're young. They need structure. Kids thrive in structure. They need it. Don't always like it, but they need it. And then the cool thing here is we own our facility, so our kids aren't locked out here. Like I got kids shooting pucks right now. They got spares. They're shooting pucks. They'll get a workout in. They want to come after school, stay late. Our staffs are working until the last staff leaves. They can stay here. Weekends, if they're not playing games, like right now, we'll have designated times during the day. And it's not like they're going to walk in here and have public use in here. It's just private. We own it. Our kids have access to it. They get to use it. They get better here. I mean, there's some kids that are going to come back next season. It's their third year here now. And we sat there after tryouts and we're like, remember he walked in year one? Well, we had to keep him because we were short bodies. We had to sign this kid. And look where he's at now. He's a legitimate player. Like he's grown. He's going to play at a high level. And to see the growth of these kids and the ones that have put on the work, I just know what we do works. I think it's easy to say, I'm going to jump here. I'm going to get a promise here, a promise there. But are you getting what you need outside just the hockey piece? Are you getting coaches that understand where your kid's at in his development? Because some kids, as you know, hey, you're fully developed by 16. You're a grown man and you're a dominant player. You're on your way up. Some kids, hey, you're going to need till grade 12 or later even to take this game to another level. So we recognize those things, put plans in place. And the cool thing is I tell kids I need self-motivated kids here. We have a great program, a great schedule. We have everything, the skills coaches, strength and goalie and head coaches. You get a lot of direction, a lot of support, but it's what you do in your free time. I call it time management. When you got your routine's gone through the season and you know on Wednesdays you got 2 hours of free time to do something. What are you doing with that free time? Are you going to game? Are you going to sit at your house? Are you going to sleep in it? Like right now we have no school Fridays. Our school goes Monday through Thursday. So Fridays I'm like, gym's open Friday. Why isn't it packed? You know, you guys got to be in here. So we're getting more and more trickle in. But at the same time, it is a beautiful city. And these kids are, turkey hunting, they're fly fishing, they're golfing. I think they golf for $5 around here. So they're always in the golf course. They're taking advantage of the community, which I love. They need to. But at the same time, my message, you're here for a reason. If you want to get better, right behind me, here's the way you're put in the work. Get going.
Love it. How about, okay, so you and I are handling the U18 prep team. Like maybe we should just throw a shout out there, for anyone listening who's wondering for a place to play. We do have some spots available there. I know the U15 team is the brand new team to the CSSHL. That's where my youngest boy, TJ, is going to be playing this year. It's going to be a varsity team this year. And we're looking for players there. Maybe we can just talk about, what spots are open or what we have to offer there.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, I guess if you wanted to fill it, we could. Right now, especially on the 18s and the 17s, but we're again put ourselves in a spot to be a little more selective with bringing in the right people, the right caliber players. So I think our 18s, I'd say we need one D-man and a couple forwards. We're looking at on that team. Our 17 prep, honestly, we got too many kids. Probably we're gonna have to, make some tough decisions the next week or two here. Then with our 17 AAA team. Again, we'll probably, more heavy on the forward end, probably need 3 or 4 more forwards there. And 15s, we just got back from Chicago. We got a lot of calls this week with some really good players that want to come in. So we're excited for that. And yeah, those are our main focus right now is probably our 17 AAA and our 15 varsity team is filling those. And yeah, we're excited to do it. And I know we'll get her done. And again, I think families now are excited to be part of what we have going on, or they see it, they feel it. And when they get out here and visit, they love it. So it's a cool
awesome
spot.
So I know we got to run, but I do want to spend just a little time. Like if somebody is interested in either like how do somebody get in touch with you? They have a kid that they think can be a good asset to the program. What's the next step for a parent or for an advisor?
Yeah, the next step is to get in touch with me. I mean, they can email me or they can call me. And then all I like to do is I think parents need to be here to go for a skate, meet the teachers, us meet the kid meet the other players. I had 2 kids from Texas here this week that went through it. They skated 4 times. They got to be around the facilities, meet with the teachers, meet with the program coordinator, student director of student life. And at the end of it, we interview, give them an evaluation where they fit in and go from there. And we got 1 kid committed, probably get both of them, but 1 just committed when he was here. And it was cool for me. I asked them because I kind of set their schedule and they kind of roam the school, they roam the weight room, they get on the dressing rooms, the other players, and they ask them, how are the kids? They treat you well? They're like, oh, the kids are awesome. They're like, they were very welcoming. We asked a lot of questions. We consider ourselves here. We had a good experience. The culture is great. So that's something that's important to me. And I think when your students can relay the information that we've talked to them about over the years with integrity and character and doing things the right way, to have new players come in that don't know anybody that leave here with a good feeling about our program is fantastic.
That's great. And then what about just quickly from a Canadian player standpoint? I mean, obviously my boys are Canadian. They are
Yeah,
dual citizens, though they're coming down. Like maybe just answer some of those questions from Canadian parents that might be interested. Is there any issue at all with Canadians coming down there? Is it easy
no,
process? What's that all about?
it's an easy process, and we have a lot of Canadians here. We have kids come in grade 9 through grade 8 through grade 12 now. We are a fully accredited school. We have CBIS accreditation, so it's real simple for Canadians. We get their information, passport information, their address, their parents' information. Our principal draws up the application form, fills it out, sends it back to the Canadian parents. They get sign off on it, get it stamped from their consulate there, and then it's done. It's usually about a 48-hour process.
And that's
It's
essentially
easy.
you're talking like a student visa, for maybe lack
Yeah,
of a better word, that allows them to
yeah.
be here and come
F1,
across the
yeah.
border.
F1 student visa. So when they travel here, they need their passport, their F1 visa, and then road trips. When we come back from Canada from our road trips, all the coaches keep their passports and F1 student visas and submit it through customs, and we're back home. It's
Awesome.
easy,
So simple process is super easy.
very easy. Yeah,
That's not a barrier at all. So no, that's
not at all.
fantastic. I'm excited to be involved in it. I know that the team's looking really, really solid this year as far as the U18 team. We're hoping
Yeah, excited.
to push
Yeah,
and yeah, and like I said, with the U15 being a new option there, I know there's lots of players coming out of U13 now here in Canada looking for a good place to be, a good home.
yeah,
By all means, we'd love to welcome some good players and some good people. So thanks, Jeremy,
absolutely.
for sharing your story. I know you got to run.
Yeah,
Love it. Love what you got going there. You should be proud of what you started. If I shouldn't say started, but what you're building.
yeah.
And I'm happy to be a part of the team. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely, we are too. We're excited to have you here. Appreciate you believing in us and coming here. And like I said, I can't wait to get. I always tell my staff, we look for us. I look to bring in better people. I want people that want to work hard, that are good people, that understand this game. It's not just hockey; it's life. And I think having guys here that have been through it, and again, kids learn from our mistakes. We got a lot of valuable things we can teach them before they make those mistakes, so they can avoid those pitfalls in this game. Because there's a lot of moving parts. It's every player's got a different pathway, and we can help navigate that through our experiences and through what we do here. So
I love it.
can't
I love
wait.
it. Yeah,
Excited.
we'll have to check our pro games experience. We might hold the title here for the U18 CSSHL league for a coaching staff.
Yeah, no kidding. That's
All
funny.
right. Well, yeah. Good luck with everything you got going on there. We'll be in touch. But yeah,
Okay,
thanks for coming on the
appreciate it.
program.
Yeah, it was awesome. Talk to you later.
Thank you so much for listening to the entire episode with Jeremy. I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did. Again, Coeur d'Alene, fantastic place in Idaho, in the United States, like just as far as a place to live. Period. The people are fantastic. The town is fantastic. If you are into anything outdoors at all, fly fishing, hunting, boating, swimming, golf, biking, running, anything of that nature can be done there with a huge smile on your face. And they have good cuisine. They have good restaurants. There is so much to do. And then you have the bigger city of Spokane that is right down the road, about a half an hour away in Washington, where you get the WHL Spokane Chiefs. So there's a lot to offer. There's a big airport there in Spokane as well. So it is a really cool venue. And then when you get into the idea of what they have there as far as facilities is concerned, with what they call the field house, what a gateway to get better. Oh my goodness. And the fact that that's just on the other side of the classroom wall, that's available to players whenever they want to go in there is fantastic. The teachers that they put together there, the academic program, it's a fully accredited academic academy, as well as the hockey that has surrounded it, and the staff that they've built there is fantastic. So, like I said, if you have not considered Coeur d'Alene as an option for one of your players' sons before, I think that you should. There's some really, really great people around there, and if your son wants to improve at the game, this is the place to do it. So thank you, Jeremy, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me be a part of your academy. I look forward to offering my skill set and my experience to the group and to the players that I get to coach and influence. And I'm really excited about that opportunity. And we're going to be moving down there in the end of September. So for anyone, that's another thing, actually, for those who are listening, this doesn't change anything that I'm doing with Up My Hockey. I'm going to be a coach. I've been on the ice lots as far as supporting teams. In the mental capacity game, that is something that will continue to happen either through me personally or some of my associate coaches, and even my on-the-ground programs in Vernon, British Columbia. My spring programs and my summer programs will all operate as per normal. That nothing is changing. So Up My Hockey is continuing to grow. The mental fitness component of it, the team component, the academy component. We are servicing more and more teams and more players, and that's super exciting. And my involvement with the Coeur d'Alene Academy as the U18 prep coach is not going to influence that or negatively influence that at all. Where all systems grow here with us at Up My Hockey. So thanks again for listening. And I love I'll part with the idea of like what Terry Ryan was saying there. I know I emphasized that in the podcast, but oh my goodness, like all you players out there and all you moms and dads out there, what a great reference, right? That this is somebody that I would want to raise my kids. When you think about that as a hockey player status, like this is somebody that I want on my hockey team. This is a player that I want to lead my team. I want to wear the C of my hockey team. I want all the other players to look up to them. And if we can strive to be like this player, like we're doing something well, that's essentially what Terry Ryan was saying with Jeremy Mylymok. And I just think that's such a great endorsement. And yeah, I mean, if we can strive to be that, if we can do that in our personal lives, I know that I do try to do that. I try to be a positive influence on the players that I work with, and I try to provide that example. Not only when people are watching, but also when people aren't watching. I take that character description that Jeremy described into consideration with what I'm doing and how I'm acting. And I think if we can all strive to do that, like you don't know when you're going to influence. You don't know when that person might be listening or that person might be watching or what you might be able, how you might be able to positively affect somebody's life. But I say that to anyone I work with, whether they're 12 years old or 18 years old, there's somebody looking up to you right now and you are making a difference for somebody. So I guess ask yourself that question. I mean, am I living the way that I want to? And is this the way that I encourage others to live and to lead and to engage in the community or whatever else is that is important to you. So Jeremy, great example. Thanks for being you, and thanks for being that example for everyone there at Coeur d'Alene. And for all of you out there, continue to strive, continue to push, continue to be better. And even that attempt at being better, I think, goes noticed, and that serves as inspiration for others around you. So until next time, play hard and keep your head up.